Hey, what's up guys, it's Asteroid Spaceboy here, and welcome back to another video. We are continuing on through the memory stuff. Yeah.
These really were a treat
Give.
down. You know,
I still
if there
hate that
had
I
been
missed
any
one.
kind of reward for
I
finding
should
all
have
of
picked
these,
it
really
up.
would
I
have
don't know why.
neutered the
Listen, I like the
intrinsic
deviate
joy
from
of
the path.
collecting
That's
them.
just what I
I'm
do.
very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
I wonder if it'll like continue until I get like 100 or something. That would be.
This is our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figlarines. Oh,
Yep.
I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Ooh, maybe I could get the free trophy via going this way. This goes pretty far back. But no, not quite. Okay.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. But time does put a rosy
I used all my
everything.
jumps.
In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now.
Yeah, but I can't
Look
do
how
it because
much fun the past is. I want more memories.
More memories? Alright.
Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before everything else,
Okay.
it was your office.
I like how I went to heaven.
Is
Where
there
were just a
anything
bunch
else?
of buttons.
Was
I
there
liked
something
that.
came
That was
before
fun.
your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
Oh.
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship.
What is
And Stanley
happening?
really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction.
Was a
I
fiction.
suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good.
What?
I enjoy telling his story so very much.
Don't tell me this is
Okay,
actually the
here
end.
we
The
go.
end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
I want to go to heaven.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't know why, but I just really like turning off everything.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he
Yeah,
entered the
why
door
not?
on his left.
Why not?
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Okay.
Feeling a wave of
Well, I'm
disbelief,
gonna move on.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Let's,
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a
2,
living
8,
soul anywhere.
4,
Could he really
5.
be all alone? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
I'm not really trying to get to the end. I'm just trying to... I want to turn on the mind control machine. I want to see what happens.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Or I've climbed up on here before. Oh, I did not mean to fall off. I meant okay. I mean, I meant to, but I didn't mean to.
Mind Control Facility. Welcome.
I meant to, but I didn't mean
to. Back when
to.
the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the Mind Control Facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours, so here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you.
Okay.
I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. Is that supposed to happen? Okay, now I hear it.
Did it. Good job.
Why?
3, 2, 1. Good job. You made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you.
Oh, and now it's gone. Okay. Put me back in heaven. Alright, sorry, I need to, do that.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
What? Yes, this is the office. What? What? Why? What's up with the narrator? Why did he do that? Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Okay. Why? What is happening? Why is the narrator... He's just...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Alright.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Climb up on...
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Okay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Aha, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp.
Wow.
I have to say this, though,
that
this
close.
version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know
let's
what?
see.
To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
That was a neat ending. Sorry that I was so quiet there. I was legitimately thinking, is there a way for me to stop this? I don't think there is. I want to go to heaven again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Sure, why not?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Thank you.
Here's the door, just go.
Thank you. Alright.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yep.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too
I need to get like
horrible
a
to
stopwatch.
believe
I have a
it couldn't be
stopwatch
true.
somewhere
Had
in the
Stanley
house.
really been under
I think it's
someone's
upstairs.
control all this time? Was this the
that-
only reason he was happy with his
So I got
boring
time
job?
how
That his
long until I could
emotions
get to
had
the
been
end?
manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this... blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
Now where's the
Whatever
bottomless
life he
pit?
lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility
How do I
of the new
end the game
path
super
before him.
fast?
This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
I don't think I did it.
And Stanley was happy.
Okay, I don't think I did it, so I'll just do this.
Co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'll go
When
as
Stanley came to a set
fast
of two
as I
open
can.
doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either.
Gotta have
Feeling a
perfect
wave of
race lines.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Yep. Mistimed on the button press. perfect race lines. Come on.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored.
Okay, so there's a way for me to do that. Okay. So if I can get up on top of that, then I can hop onto this. Okay, got it.
This mind control facility, it was too...
Okay, let me begin the game again. I can get on top of that. Okay.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of
No,
work.
hold on.
Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
All right, and begin the game again, and then I'll walk off. There we go.
A soft
Now I've got all the
wind blew
boxes.
outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Come on.
Here's the door, just go.
Okay. Okay. Come on. I can do it. I can quickly...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Oh my gosh.
What
Okay.
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers.
Okay, I can't.
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where
I don't think I
freedom
can
meant
get up
nothing.
there then, okay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it.
Okay,
He
come on.
couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls
All right,
labeled with emotions.
come on.
Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that...
Alright.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command, Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley
Speedrun, got the trophy. Click the Stanley parable in under 4 minutes and 22 seconds.
Before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
I'm 100% going to 100% this game.
Stanley was happy.
Although play the game for the entire length of a Tuesday is, that's a little interesting. That means I'll have to start at midnight, rubber band my controllers together. I've done this before with a Minecraft trophy, where I rubber banded my controllers together, built a little dirt hut, surrounded myself in it, rubber banded my my joysticks together, so I just walked around in a circle like this, and then I left it on for like 12 hours. And I got a trophy that way. It's play for 100 days straight, whatever it's called. The sequel's not paused. Hold on a second. Let me look through the trophies real quick. Let's see here. So here, there's the test trophy. I want that trophy. There's commitment, placed in the parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. I also want that. Super go outside. Don't play the Stanley Parable for 10 years. So that's it for trophies. All that remains are those three. Is the test trophy, commitment, and super go outside. I want the test trophy. Okay, well.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
I'm not going
but
to the meeting room.
Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful. No,
I'm leaving.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
No, I'm heading down here. Me and the bucket are gonna go have our own adventure.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Whoa.
You
It's
see,
the
my
line!
friends and I are
The
concerned for you,
line!
Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying
Line! What's
around
going on,
everywhere.
Line?
The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite
Broom
jokes,
Closet,
not
I
this
missed you.
bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line
Adventure
go
Line
somewhere
is
new.
fun.
Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Oh, that car drove forward. I missed it. Yeah, let's follow the Adventure Line.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Yeah! Adventure Line!
Now this is
What?
what the Stanley Parable is all about.
Give me my
Don't you
music
remember
back.
all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Oh no, I'll have to give up the bucket.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality
It's going
trait.
faster, right?
Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Oh, my brain hurt. There's now a piece of metal lodged in my head because it blew up. Whoa.
The Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Oh, okay. Fade to black. Oh, is that... Heaven. The temptation to go to
meeting
heaven
room.
is...
Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
The bucket is the best.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him.
I'm
telling
gonna go
him that the
jump
employee
off and
lounge
die.
was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
I'm going to
Stanley
die
took
with
the
the
door on his
bucket.
left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him.
The bucket
It
just
should
has
have
a
alarmed
voice.
him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Except I don't.
No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here?
I wonder how long that's,
What
if
the
that sign
problem
has
is that you
actually always been
don't
there.
know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire
Warning, do
rest
not
of the
stand
game
on
if
this
not
side
addressed quickly and
of
properly.
the fence.
So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Me want in there. Okay. Okay.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever
You're gonna
need
show
to
me
know
like
about
Tupperware
what
things,
is
and I'm not
or
like,
is
oh,
not
is that a bucket or is that a
Okay,
bin?
let's
You
begin.
know?
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Well, it's a pail, but sure.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
You bitch.
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
That is a bucket. If it's a 3D printed bucket, then it's a bucket. That is a bucket.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Okay, so the first two are not, the second one is.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
It's gonna be some bullshit thing of being like a tractor is actually a bucket because it carries shit, right?
Correct. This is a tractor and not
Okay,
a bucket.
good.
To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one. Is this a bucket?
It's a tractor made out of buckets, right?
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
What?
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
This is not a bucket.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true.
Everything is a bucket, you
Is that
just
what
said
you
it.
think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
The philosophical music just really got crazy. Technically speaking, see, what defines a bucket? Is it something that can carry liquids? Because then a sponge is a bucket. But it's not. It's a sponge. A boot. You can fill your boot full of milk. Is that a bucket? No, it's a boot filled with milk. But a bucket filled. Oh, this is a real philosophical thing. I'm gonna say No.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What
How?
is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift.
Did I get?
Any of us
Did I
know
make you
what
crazy?
a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
You can hold water, so
Stanley,
yes,
I
you
can't
are.
keep doing
Yes,
this.
you are.
I'm losing myself, and
You're a
myself was
bucket.
all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
No.
Okay, here we go.
Don't. What classifies
What
as a
happened?
bucket, though?
Is everything gone?
Everything's
Why
a
did everything
bucket.
disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket?
Everything
Every
was
single
a
thing in the game was a
bucket.
bucket.
Holy
My God,
shit.
I had no idea.
Oh my goodness.
Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets.
Oh,
Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful.
you're right,
to get some
I'm not a
clarity
bucket,
on
I'm
that
just a
issue,
cum
but it doesn't
dumpster.
change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything. and
That's
we'll
not a
put
bucket
back
at all,
all
it's
of
a
the
dumpster.
buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right,
Everything
here
is
we
a
go.
bucket. No, you're not a bucket. But everything else is.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I just took a screenshot of that. Dog mode. What does that do? Okay, well, I'm turning on dog mode.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
And I'll remain in dog mode for a while
Stanley
now.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him,
Bark,
telling
bark,
him
bark,
that
bark.
the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
And now I die.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Romeo and Bucket. Oh, sorry, I don't know why I said that. I'm pretty sure the bucket's a dude. So it's
All of his co-workers were
Buckio
gone. What could it mean?
and Astrid Space.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Why is there glitchy? It's whatever.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not
No.
the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
No, I don't actually.
And here it was.
I'm gonna walk through it.
The lounge.
Not
But
interested.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
No, I do not. I go down here.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No,
Right.
no, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly...
Hold on.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wow, but there's no buckets beyond that point, so I can't take the bucket with me. God damn it. Alright,
When
well,
Stanley came to a set of 2 open
No,
doors,
I
this
do
was
not.
not the correct way to the meeting room,
I
and
head this
Stanley
way.
knew it perfectly well.
I am
Perhaps he
going
wanted
to
stop
defy
by the
you
employee lounge first,
till the
just
end.
to admire it. It was okay.
It was okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, I don't. I go here.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I've already been, I believe, down there. Right? Yeah. So I can't really... I feel like I would die.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong
Yeah.
foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been... What? Really? I was in the
Yeah.
middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Absolutely.
Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you.
Oh my
to show
gosh,
you
it
something
does. I don't know if
beautiful.
it said that
Look,
originally,
let me prove
but
it.
that
Let me
is
prove that I'm
crazy
on
if it
your
did.
side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
No.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I
CP
haven't even
orange.
finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed
Last time I
developer
went through
textures.
here, I
Is this
voted.
what
I
you
made
wanted?
it.
Was it worth
One.
ruining the entire
Said
story
one,
I'd
so maybe
written
this
out
time I'll
specifically
say
for
2.
you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into
If I have that, I'll do
Because I did.
3, 4,
in
and
the
then
end, it
5.
was
See
all
what
for
happens.
nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback.
Alright.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Oh, well, now this is useful. You didn't like it, but you didn't totally hate it either. You enjoyed it, perhaps is the correct term. It didn't cause you
3 would be like an
excruciating
enjoy.
pain. Big steps we've made here today, Stanley. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Yeah, it's the leaderboard.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
I always forget how terrible it is. It'll die. I'll just let it die.
You heartless bastard. Did
I'm
you
not
do it
heartless,
because
that was
you hate
awful.
babies or purely to spite me?
Both.
Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh,
You're
hey,
welcome.
since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see.
Okay.
What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Oh yeah, that's right. Firewatch.
Ah, fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation?
Great
Well, it
game.
seems
Love it.
obvious to me
Awesome.
that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent
No,
civilians
you
below you
play as
from
a man
up high
who's
in
getting
your creep
spied on
town,
by a creepy
perhaps for
man.
some sort of twisted erotic
Who
purpose.
People play.
Yes, that
A lot of
must be
people
it.
play
What a
very
fascinating venture into
unfaithfully
the
to their
experience of
life
total
when they
mental
play this game, but I
depravity.
hate it when
So
people do
far,
that.
I love everything about this game,
Hate it.
Stanley. And it seems there's even more.
Hate
Come,
it.
let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Minecraft door open noise. Nah. Alright, since we are at the end of the video, let's just end it off with me in heaven. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.